Hi everyone, my name is Literary Donkey and today we're back on the RTS project doing another kind of tutorial video. So in the last video we kind of started wrapping this all together into some nice unit selection. It didn't really work out perfectly, but you can see that we have our instance IDs along the bottom, and then if we were to move them now it would only control those ones that we have selected. Only select them if you've got them in the region, and this was all working fine. If you didn't select it, it was a little bit buggy. If you started adding extra units in, however, and you highlighted them, it wouldn't work. If you highlighted these, it would select all of them, and it was a bit weird. So we're going to be addressing these problems bit by bit. The first thing was just quite a fundamental problem. So the first problem that we're going to be addressing is these units are currently very much separate. However, if we select this one, all four get selected, even though you've got to think of this as three units as well, and this is one. So this is three, this is one, and we've got them all as one lot here, and we move them all as one. And that's probably the most apparent problem, because there's no unit separation going on whatsoever. So we're going to go through that and how we're going to solve that problem. So I'll just find where we did it. I think it was in the overlay actually. So yeah, just in here, I'm full screen this because it's a bit bigger. There was a little bit of a fundamental problem. So here, what we're doing, draw to, remember, only calls if we've got a unit in the box. Now the problem here was that this loops through every single unit within the room and then just adds it regardless of whether it's actually in the box or not. So that's why when we select one lot, it will select the other one, and also why it moves the whole lot together. Because the other bit of code was right, but this is incorrect. So what we actually want to be doing is getting rid of this. And if we just use this bit of code here, this is now looping through every single unit, and this is now finding the instance ID. In fact, we're just going to say var ID D, because ID is built in. So var ID D, or we'll just call this ID, is equal to the instance ID of every single unit. So this iterates through and gets every single unit. So in this run, ID is, say, 100,006 or something, 100006, say. Now what we did in the last video in the controller was here we realized that we could control the units by using this. So just like that. Instead, what we want to do is we want to control, or check almost, if the unit's coordinates are within our rectangle. And it's not the most efficient way of doing it really in here. So what I'm going to propose we do is move a bit of code over. Not the draw, the step. So in the step event, and the draw event actually, it's a tricky one. We shouldn't really leave it in the draw event because it will slow stuff down. So we'll move it. So we'll just copy this and move it into the step event. So wherever draw is true, we know that this is okay. So if draw 2 is true, and we can just paste this in here, and we're going to do the same thing. None of it is specific to the draw event because we're not actually drawing anything, and that's why it makes it more sense to put it in the step event. But also anything that's in the draw event uses up more GPU or power. I don't know. So it makes more sense to put it in the step event where the CPU will take control of it. So anyway, back to this. Now we want to check if our specific instance is actually within the area, so to speak. So we can actually use this right here. So we could just copy this whole thing, in fact, into here, but instead we're going to use the ID. So wherever it says that, we're just going to swap it for ID. So if our ID, or our instance ID X, is within our rectangle's range, then we know that that's going to be one we want to select. So in this case, we need to get the length, and this is where it starts to get a little bit awkward with arrays, because we want to make sure that we're setting it, but okay. I've thought of a way we can get around this a little bit. We're going to set a counter up. Now this is something I try to avoid as much as possible because it's not the neatest thing, but we'll do it for this case anyway. So, seeing as the for loop is completely contained, we can reset it there. What we want to do here is whenever we find a unit within this range, we're going to increase the counter. This means that underneath we can just simply add it to the array. So units counter equals IDD. And is there something wrong here? Can we not do this? I can't remember. Nope, that's not the problem. I'm missing a bracket or something. That's weird. What if I run it? Let's see what the actual error is. Does it say? Apparently not. I feel like I've just made a typo or something. Stupid. Units counter equals IDD. Can't see anything obvious. Let me just comment some lines and see what happens. Well, it's not that line. Is it this line? Nope. So it must be something to do with the... Oh, yeah, it was a typo. Just me being a little bit stupid and missing a bracket there. Sorry about that. So yeah, now if we do this, I'll talk you through once I've shown it, but whilst demonstrating. So now if we select it, it works exactly the same as before, but if we select some more units, whoa, what? Ah, yeah, yeah, we'll have to keep that one in mind, definitely. You can see that now they are separate though. I'll talk you through why exactly that error has happened, and we'll do a little bit more on it in the next video as to why. Yeah. Definite problem, as you can see. So, yeah, I'll take you through what's actually happened here. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'll take you through what we've actually done in this kind of section here, just whilst we're doing it. So if draw 2, and this is, remember, drawing our, if we have units basically within our box, we set counter equal to 0, and then we go through this, go through every single unit, then get the instance ID of that unit, then check if that unit, specifically that instance, is between our rectangle ranges. We add to the counter and then add it in here. Now here's a obvious problem that I've just managed to overlook. The counter should of course be at the bottom because our units should always start on 0, and as soon as it starts there as 0, the ID should start there. This might solve a few things. I do think it was a bit weird to have that many problems. No, it is still incredibly weird. It may be to do with the movement as well. That is another possibility. Very peculiar. Yeah. I'm not sure, I'll have to test it off screen and mess around and see how we get on with that. But for the moment I'm going to leave it there because we're not actually getting any further. So if you like this video, remember to like, subscribe, what do you guys want to do, and I will talk to you in the next one.